Hey guys, what's up? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. Alright, first card that we have out is Hanged Man. Hanged Man can be a period of time where things are suspended a bit. So things can feel a little bit like unscheduled or not routine, that type of thing. You can feel like there's a haziness over things, can feel like things slow down as well. Just feeling not, it can feel like a little bit different than usual can be the vibe, but you can be feeling thrown off because of that. It looks like there is something that you're going to be getting into, but it may not be time for this to start yet. Hanged Man also gives us time to check things out, to look at things from different angles. It can also be a time too where maybe the way that you had been seeing things before is going through a bit of a shift, a bit of a change. And so you can sort of be in that in-between where you're like, before I was seeing things like this, or that was my perspective. And through a growing spiritually and energetically, it looks like something is coming together here. I'm seeing the Lovers on the other side of the Hanged Man. So this can be something that's going on that's impacting a relationship currently, and you could feel like you're in an in-between within a relationship, or that something's like not starting, or that something is like suspended currently, or it can feel like something is delayed, like that type of thing. So we have Neptune, we have Gemini, and we also have Taurus here. Yeah, this feels like something potentially that you would be getting into here. But with the Hanged Man, it can be this feeling of like it's not time for this yet. Okay, we have all major arcanas here, so this is feeling like a big deal. Seems like there's a reflection potentially on like what you would be signing up for, but you can also have things like your values that you're looking into as well. Because it also seems like there's potential for something to change relationship-wise, and that can be something that you're thinking about too, where you're like, do I actually want that to happen? Do I not want that to happen? How do I feel about this? We have like the Hanged Man, and then we have the Hermit, and in between we have the Lovers and we have the Hierophant. Lovers and Hierophant can be sort of like your commitment to a partnership with another person. It can be connected with like your relationship. It can be about like what you've committed to doing, or like how you want to show up, or how you feel like it's important for you to be showing up, or how you said that you were going to show up, like that type of thing. So it would be like, if there's an involvement here, like what does that look like? What does that mean? What's implied by that? What would I be signing up for? Am I able to like show up in this way that I'm hoping to, or that this other person is expecting me to? That type of thing. But to have Hanged Man and to have Hermit, it's like these things are being figured out. So this can be like you talking to whoever this person is, and it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. This can be like a business partner that you're talking to. Lots of different ways, but it's definitely between you and another person to have the Lovers here, or between you and something that you care about, that you would potentially be committing to, or like making a union with in some way. Let's use the example of this being a partnership, with like an interpersonal partnership. So you're talking with this person, and you can be like telling them about your beliefs, telling them about what's important to you, talking to them about your values, and vice versa. And you can be trying to figure out, like, does that make sense? Also with the Hierophant, like language can come up within this, culture can come up within this, background can come up within this, those types of things where it's like, what do you actually expect from me? What do I expect of you? Are those things compatible with one another? Like this type of thing. Having Hanged Man here can be like, right now things are being figured out, but nothing may be clear, nothing may be solid right now. And to have Hermit, it's like this is something that's actively being looked into, but you can still feel like there's a lot that's happening. For some of you, there's a move that's involved. You can feel like there's a lot that's happening here, but that nothing is like decided. It's all sort of just being figured out currently. Looks like you're also dealing with something too. This can be something personal that you are dealing with. This can also be something that, I don't know, maybe you're privately dealing with this. You may not have fully expressed this yet. It may be something that you're still kind of understanding your feelings about. I'm seeing 5 of Cups and I'm seeing 2 of Pentacles. This feels like I'm finding myself within a situation here where I'm trying to actively show up and like function properly within it. And I'm also dealing with something emotionally that's difficult for me right now, where like something didn't go how I thought that it would be, or this wasn't what I thought that it would be. With the Hierophant too, like this can also be talking about a marriage as well. There can be health related things that come up with Virgo here. Communication is going to be a big thing. So it feels like all of this is happening while you're dealing with something. Now, what is this 5 of Cups associated with? You could have something going on separately from this situation that you're dealing with right now and tending to. You could have something that's directly linked to the relationship that you're tending to, but either way, there's something going on with the relationship that you're figuring out, and there's also something heavy emotionally that you're moving through too. And when I say heavy, it's like something that feels sad. There's a sad energy here that I'm seeing. And you may be in a spot where you're like trying to deal with those two things. Like there can be like mourning, there can be grieving. Like for some of you specifically, I'm getting something about a family member passing away. So it can just be heavy types of topics like that. And that doesn't need to mean like anything that even happened recently, you know? And this would be something that you're already dealing with. That is not a suggestive thing where it's like, this is going to happen. This is something that's currently going on for you where you're like, I'm trying to tend to my marriage right now. And also I had like the passing of like somebody that I cared about. And I'm trying to balance between tending to my commitments and my relationships. This can also be like your relationships in general that you feel like you have a duty to show up within, and also that you want to, while also dealing with things that are difficult emotionally. But it feels like whatever this thing is emotionally that you're dealing with, I'm getting it be linked to one big thing. And there may be other things that are going on that are linked to this as well. So like, how do you balance that? How do you tend to everything that needs you to tend to it? Because both of these things are important too. And the balance of tending to these things and not just only focusing on interpersonal relationships or only focusing on what's going on emotionally for you. It's being able to like prioritize the things that need to be prioritized currently. Some of you, the like sadness is connected specifically with this person is what I'm seeing. You could also potentially be calling something quits or going through an ending as well. Like Hierophant and 10 of Swords, it can really go either way. Like Hierophant and 10 of Swords can be like, okay, we're gonna like seal and sign this and commit to this. So now the struggling or figuring things out is over, because we're gonna like stamp the approval of this and now we're gonna be together. But this can also be too like a divorce or something like that as well, to have the Hierophant and 10 of Swords, or it could be something that feels like that. This can also feel like moral differences or like differences in beliefs creating this thing where it's like, I don't know if we really belong together. It can be that type of thing. It can be like different religions. It's like that type of stuff that's connected with our belief systems and what we assign meaning to. And that may not be compatible with you and this person. And Hierophant can speak about contracts too. So you can either be like renewing a contract or being like, okay, now we can squash this because we've come to an agreement, because Hierophant can also have to do with that. But it can also be to like agreeing to go separate ways. So it doesn't have to mean coming together, but it also doesn't have to mean separating. It really just is going to depend on your situation. It also feels too like whatever it was that happened there, you may feel like there's finally starting to be like a coming to terms with this, because something had taken place that very, very strongly had been impacting a relationship. Again, whether this was something that happened within your relationship or it was something that happened without, like on the outside of your relationship, it was still something that was impacting the relationship. But now what I'm seeing is that there's progress that's been being made, and it looks like it's been happening through some type of communication or figuring something out, like analyzing, looking into this, like, what do you think? This is how I'm feeling, like that type of thing. So now to have 5 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles, it's sort of like, I'm looking at this thing, I'm figuring my way through this, and now to have the 10 of Swords here, it's like this can finally come to an end now. Like, I don't have to continue dealing with this anymore because we're finally moving through and allowing the cycle to close out. And it feels like a very heavy cycle, like one that's maybe felt really painful as you've been moving through it. And for some of you, I am seeing that the disappointment may be associated too with like things not working out. That doesn't have to be the only way that this can show up, but I'm definitely seeing that be one of the pathways that's going to resonate for some of you guys throughout this reading. And that may still be something that you're coming to terms with too. Like, I'm feeling really disappointed right now and I'm feeling really sad, but I know that I can't continue like this, like that type of thing. Having Hanged Man though can be that you may think that something is, you may see something going in a very particular way right now and it may not stay that way. Hanged Man can be like, you're not seeing everything yet actually, even though you may think that you are right now. Like, you may think that there's only one path to get through this for you. Hanged Man may say otherwise. And that can also be something that's happening too, where you're like, does it have to be like this? Is there another way that we can do it? So somebody may have proposed that things complete and that things close out, but I'm seeing like another person not want to do that. I'm seeing somebody not be up for ending this, not be up for closing that out. See how it's like there's the potential of doing this and somebody's like, I don't really want that. I don't want it to be like that. But this can also be like knowing that this is what's going to happen and feeling like you need some time to yourself. I think that it's too soon for there to be any sort of conclusion. Like, even within the energy, it feels like there's very much a like back and forth that's still happening, where it's like in some cases I could see there being the potential and the most likely outcome being that there would be a conclusion and an ending here, but I'm also seeing too there be like a resistance to that as well. And to have Hanged Man and to have 4 of Cups, it can be like a way that somebody's feeling right now where they're not into the idea of something happening, that may actually be changing, because I'm seeing like something is going to develop emotionally that hasn't been set into motion yet in an intelligible way, which would mean that there's something here that's going to have an impact, that's going to have an influence over what's going on. I'm seeing something about a shoemaker. I'm actually seeing like one of those things where it's like that wood piece. I don't know if shoes are still made like this, but when I'm thinking about like traditional, like old-fashioned shoemaking, how there would be the wood piece that would go inside, and then the part that would make the outside of the shoe would go on the outside. I'm seeing something having to do with that. So where was I with this? Basically, something is going to happen and it's going to be influential on a plane of emotion. But this thing hasn't happened yet. And that's why I'm seeing Hanged Man be here. So this can be too that like something, there's a delay, something can't be decided yet, like something's not being seen yet, something can't be figured out yet, or you may think something has concluded and it's definitely going to happen in one way, and that may not actually be the case because something is then going to change it. So I think the whole big takeaway of everything that I'm seeing here is that you may feel one way and you may not necessarily feel that way when whatever's going on with Neptune moves. So there can be like a transit that you're experiencing right now, something going on. I'm hearing alchemy. So I'm seeing Neptune, I'm seeing Gemini, I'm seeing Taurus, and I am seeing Virgo here. I think too that what's going on is that your impression about something that already took place could have felt really solid, and there's something that's unraveling, but it hasn't fully unraveled yet. And it has to do, specifically, this has to do with a relationship, a close relationship. For some of you, it's like a partnership, it's like a marriage partner or somebody that you live with, like something like that. Whatever it is, it's like a very significant relationship within your life, like something that would be a foundational type of relationship in your life. I'm seeing something very serious, or something that would have the potential to be very serious, or something that was very serious in the past that now is coming up in some type of relevant way and you figuring things out. So this can mean too that something happened between you and this person, and you could be like, how am I ever going to be able to accept that, or how am I ever going to not be disappointed about that? However, I'm seeing something is actively being figured out between you and this person. What's happening is that I think very strongly that this is either you or it's your person that you're dealing with. Somebody felt like they could not get past something, or like was having a very, very difficult time accepting something, and it's not going to stay like that. With Neptune here, it's kind of that you think that you're seeing everything now, and it's not how it's going to stay. It shows that there's an influence that's permeating this that is going to unravel and expand it. So that thing that you think is like calcified and solid, it's not actually. But it can feel like hardened, crystallized emotions. And it's basically going to be like blasted and fragmented. So even though you may look at something and be like, this is definitely how I feel, it's like very relative is what I'm seeing. Or the person that you're dealing with feeling like this. But it's not going to stay like that. And it has to do too with somebody like not wanting to participate, because it's like, that happened, I don't want to take that on again, I don't want to experience that again. And so it seems too like this is coming from a place of like self-protection. And for some of you, the relationship already ended with this person, and there may be something now, it's like coming back around and you're figuring things out again with this person. But you could feel like there was betrayal to have Hierophant and have Ten of Swords. It can be like, we made a promise or we made a commitment, and then that wasn't upheld. Whether it was like one person that did something, or like you got married and then you guys separated, and like it wasn't supposed to be like that because it was like a promise forever, you know, that type of thing. So lots of different things that this could be. And you could also feel too like there were differences between you and this person that created sort of the veering off from them that had to do with like belief systems. And for some of you too, you're like dealing with somebody and maybe not feeling super into working with them, but it's because there's still stuff that's being healed here. And I'm also hearing something about you taking protective measures. So there may be part of you that's like, I'm trying to figure things out with this person, but how come I don't feel like I'm in the mood to? Like that type of thing. So this is what's happening currently. Some of you also, something that you may have dealt with in the past is that like maybe one of you guys had been like divorced or something in the past, and that can also be something that's coming up into your relationship even though they may have been with a different person in the past. Just an example, it's not going to be like that for everybody. So that's why I'm seeing you be at this point of looking into like why you may not be feeling super enthusiastic about something. And it also seems like more so the suggestion is for you to spend some time sort of like recuperating emotionally, because it seems like you have a full plate right now, and you may be like, I'm still trying to deal with all of this, and now I have this other thing actively that I'm meant to be participating in simultaneously. So again, it comes back to this thing that I was seeing in the beginning of like you needing to tend to both of these things simultaneously, actively your relationship with this person, and then also these really heavy feelings that you're experiencing too. And make sure that you're tending to both of these things and not just going on one side and then neglecting the other thing. It's about keeping things balanced. Okay, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.